So let's get right into the reading. As you know, I like to clear my cards first. What will the new moon bring us? Oh, Jojo's having a sneeze under the table. What will the new moon bring us? What can we expect from this new moon? What's wrong, puppy? You're sneezing all over the place. Let's do our reading. So this is the present. We'll have a look at the card. So this is a sign that a situation has came to its peak and for you to go easier. So if you've been really busy recently, which I know I have, it's time to let that go and focus on things that are perhaps a little bit more enjoyable, a little bit more relaxing. Yeah, you have to let something go and stop trying so hard. So this is what's happening at the moment. This is the present. So this card is the waning moon. This is talking about, and this where it's positioned, this is the present. And I think what this is actually telling us is that we have cycles in our lives, and sometimes these cycles are long and sometimes they're short. And this one, when the moon is waning, it is growing smaller and smaller as it's moving from full to new. So it's time to let go. And if you've been really busy, then you probably need a little bit of downtime to move on to the next thing. So this is our challenge here, which is the full moon in Aquarius. Showing the world the real you is the challenge that you're facing at the moment. This is also telling you to step back a little and get some downtime. It's important for you to let life unfold. So what this card is telling you is the challenge that you have relating to the present and the things that have finished up is just to let things start to unfold themselves. The Aquarian energy is definitely not a clingy energy. Aquarians are very independent and like to be able to move with that flow. So perhaps you need to just allow yourself to be yourself and move on. This card is the past. Isn't that a gorgeous picture? You are good enough. Full moon in Virgo. So again, when we're talking about release and showing the world what you and not being too clingy to things, the full moon in Virgo is telling you it's time to declutter, that you are good enough, you've got enough in your life, and you need to let go of what isn't serving you, and perhaps clean out your energies, cleanse yourself, to allow yourself to let go of what has been in this recent past. The new moon in Aquarius. So that's two Aquarius cards that we have here, the new and the full. So the full moon is usually about release and the new moon is about bringing things in. So this is our recent past. So this is what has happened fairly recently for you. So I think very recently you have decided that that this change has started. So the things that you're needing to release and clear out has already started recently. You've became aware of it, and that's where that is going. And now we've got the new moon in Virgo, and I promise you guys that these are very well shuffled. It's unusual to get new and full moons together when readings, but you know what? Sometimes that's what the universe is trying to tell us. So this is the outcome for this particular new moon and what we need to think about. So I think what this one is actually telling us when we read it with the Aquarius cards and the release is that I think you've perhaps been a little bit blocked. Maybe your energy has been low. This card was telling us to help release that energy, and this card is also encouraging us to do that. So stop over analysing things, and just, again, we need to go with the flow. So the path to the future. The answer you need is coming. I'll just move that card in a bit so that we can see it properly. So, the path to the future. Speak your truth, but remember, truth has consequences. So the path to the future, this is telling us that our answers are coming. It says that on the card. But what we need to remember with Gemini is that sometimes things can get a little out of hand, and we can say things that have an impact on the people that we are talking to. So if we're needing to release something, show people the real you, just remember to use some tact when you're doing that and not charge in like a bull in a china shop. Your issues will get resolved, the release will happen, but I think perhaps this is where we're needing to take that step back, think about what we're saying and not charge in there all guns blazing. So our next card is more about you. Time to take action. The new moon in Aries. I think you're desperate to get going on releasing and moving forward in your life. Aries is a fiery sign. And I think that perhaps you've got a bit of a fire under you at the moment for what you're wanting to move on and do. But because it's beside this, we're talking about bringing our love into the situation and communication here. Just be mindful of what you're saying and doing, because what you're wanting to release and move forward to is going to come. It is coming, but just don't go charging in on it. Yeah, success is heading your way, but just don't go too fast and don't forget your manners. So more about the situation. You're very close to achieving your goal. Wow. So as I said, this is more about the situation. I think this is relating back to here, about taking your time about what you want to release. The gibbous moon, I'm not even sure if I'm saying that properly because I always think about it as a gibbon, which is just ridiculous. The card itself tells us that you're very close to achieving your goal, and this is very close to being a full moon. However, this isn't a neat yes or no. It's not a new moon. It's not the full moon. But possibilities are huge at the moment. But again, you might need to make some adjustments to get where you want to get what this release, the new moon, is bringing you. And I think what this is actually telling us now is that, again, take your time. It's coming. And you've just got to be very careful about how you go ahead and do this. Don't push too hard, or what you're hoping to achieve could easily come tumbling down. So this is joining into our time to take action from Aries and our communication. So please just be careful with what you're releasing, because it may not end up the way that you hope that it will. And this is our final card. So our final card is the Void of Course Moon. And this is saying nothing will come of this situation. Now that's not exactly what it means. It doesn't mean that nothing is actually going to happen. It's just letting you know to adjust your expectations or change things if your outcome is different to what you expect. I think when we're looking at this as a whole for the reading, we're going to have our new starts for our new moon. We're going to release things that we want to release. And new starts and bringing new things in is very typical of a new moon and the new moon energies. You're desperate to do this new thing that you're bringing in with these cards. And that's great. You're going to have to declutter a little bit, which is the Virgo, new and full, and that's what you're wanting to release. But I think you need to be careful about how you're going about this. So make sure that your words are kind, that you are not charging into things too quickly, that you allow yourself a little bit of patience and a little bit of love and grace within this situation. And if you do, then it will bring in what you're wanting it to bring in. However, it may be slightly different to what you expect, especially if you're going in all guns blazing. So allow a little bit of leeway from this new moon to bring you in to where you're needing to be. Now, I hope that new moon reading is enjoyable for you. If it is, remember to press the subscribe and the like button and comment below. I'll speak to you at the next reading, friends.